things are getting pretty interesting in the political stage. Check this out. You may want to pay particular attention to what Dr. Ben Carson has to say about Hillary Clinton and why she is not fit to be president of the United States of America. However, here's what I'm going to say on the contrary. We are at the time in history where those who are in the position of power are Luciferians, and you will not be allowed to be in the position of authority unless you have ties with the occult and these secret societies, and you have the aid and full blessings of the Brotherhood of Freemasonry on your side. If you don't have that, you are not going anywhere. Now, before I play this clip where Dr. Ben Carson simply exposes Hillary Clinton, as we go to the Daily Mail of the UK, we read the following, and I quote, "She's 1 degree of separation from a devil lover. Ben Carson claims Hillary is unfit to be president because her hero radical writer acknowledges Lucifer." And I quote, reading the first of the 4 bullet points beneath the main headline, we read, and I quote, "Ben Carson railed against the secular progressive agenda," end quote, in his speech at the Republican National Convention. Carson reminded the audience that Hillary Clinton has said that she's a Saul Alinsky fan who penned the book Rules for Radicals. The third bullet point reads, "In the acknowledgments, Alinsky called Lucifer the original radical," something that Ben Carson pointed out on stage. The last bullet point reads, "He then connected this thinking to Clinton suggesting that Alinsky was a dangerous role model for a future president of the United States." And I quote, "All I can simply say is I agree fully 100% with Dr. Ben Carson." Now, without going any further, let me play this video clip so you can see it for yourself.
Now, one of the things that I have learned about Hillary Clinton is that one of her heroes, her mentors, was Saul Alinsky. And her senior thesis was about Saul Alinsky. This was someone that she greatly admired and that affected all of her philosophies subsequently. Now, interestingly enough, let me tell you something about Saul Alinsky. He wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. On the dedication page, it acknowledges Lucifer, the original radical who gained his own kingdom. Now, think about that. This is a nation where our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, talks about certain inalienable rights that come from our Creator. So are we willing to elect someone as president who has as their role model somebody who acknowledges Lucifer? Think about that.
I think you heard it plain, and it's so simple, it's right there, right in front of you. This was another way, this was a subtle way of Ben Carson simply saying Hillary Clinton, her mentors, her heroes, the people who she looks up to are people who look up to Lucifer. It was a subtle way of saying that Hillary Clinton is a Luciferian and she looks up to Lucifer. This is the reason why she acknowledges Alinsky as mentor and her hero, because he dedicated his writings to Lucifer. And let me point out to you the obvious. As you can see, clearly Ben Carson has the guts to stand up and claim the real truth which needs to be spoken without being afraid of saying it. And this is on national television. The man is bold, he's not afraid. He is showing a true example of what Adventists should be like, not weaklings. And yes, Ben Carson is a Seventh-day Adventist, for those of you who did not know this. In other words, he is a Sabbath-keeping believer in the second advent of Jesus Christ, Christian. Unfortunately, the sad news is most of the Adventist Christians, or most people who claim to be Sabbath keeping Christians, most of them are too comfortable. Most of them don't even believe in Bible prophecy anymore. Most of them have fallen asleep. And this is the reason why most of the messages being preached now are all watered down, soft messages. No more are they focusing on prophecy or preparing for the second coming. They are all falling in line and becoming no different than any other churches, preaching the soft messages of, that's right, you guessed it, all you need is love. And may I point out, for those of you who are asleep and did not know this, maybe it's time you figured it out, and maybe it's time you understood this right now. Jesuits have infiltrated the Adventist Conference, and ultimately anyone who wants to become a preacher or an evangelist, they are going to have to be extra cautious about what messages they are going to be presenting, because the conference is now going to start hunting down anyone who is going to preach highly controversial subjects. But hey, that can be for a whole nother video all by itself. Going back to this subject, what all of you need to know is this: both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump appear to be poor choices. Maybe I should not spoil this. I'm not going to go and speak on this now because there's a separate content by itself. I'm going to be uploading another video actually shortly that's going to show you something interesting that's going on between Hillary and Donald Trump and Barack Obama. It's pretty interesting. So I don't think I should spoil that. Other than that, hey, ladies and gentlemen, hope you can see what Dr. Ben Carson is bringing out and letting you know. And this is something that's worth paying attention. This is something that is worth spreading the message around so people can at least know exactly what's going on. Ben Carson just simply exposed Hillary Clinton as a Luciferian. Whether you believe it or not, these people are Luciferians. Truly, people can agree with this statement that a nation of sheep is now being governed by wolves. This is the Controversy 7. Thank you for tuning in and for joining me. Until next time, if this is your first time, be sure to hit subscribe. Feel free to go on my website, www.thecontroversy7.ca. You can also join me on Facebook. My Facebook fan page link is in the video description box. Other than that, you take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you in the next upload. Just make sure that you are aware there's a lot of information that's coming across your way that's probably going to be shocking to many of you. And for that, I say it is worth your time to subscribe to the Controversy 7.